Well, welcome to our final seventh class of Mary Kay University. It is all about color, okay? And I know what you're saying. Why is there a starter kit checklist on here? This is why, because as I started going through this was here. And so I think it's perfect before color, but I also know it's part of the skincare class one. All right. So I don't want you to forget this is pages 42 and 43 right now. And so you want to print this out. This is a reminder of what goes in your starter kit, right? Your pocket number 1, 2, 3, and 4, which I'm not going to obviously go through all of that. And so things that I just want to give a little tip to, okay, is that when you're doing the group close, you're putting all of this together. Okay. So that's one thing that I just want to remind you guys. You want to keep everything in there. You want to close it up. If you have a product and the product has like, you have a product and it has like you have to clean the top, clean everything in front of them. They're seeing you as they're writing names and numbers. So I love that they realize that it's clean. I just want you to know that, right? Keep your travel roll-up bag clean. Like you can like literally take out those pockets and clean the clear part of the pocket if you need to, right? Because you want it to be clean. If your starter kit is dirty, I mean, if your travel roller bag is dirty, get a new one. And then if there's pockets that are still good from the other ones, keep them. You never know when you need a pocket for something, right? And I love that it says to tie a little bow on top of the trub, right? Because I have trubs that are ready to go to sell, and they all have either pink for normal to dry or purple for combination to oily, right? And so this allows you to know which one's which. And then it makes it look prettier. Okay. And then there's a reminder of all of these things that come in should be in your starter kit. Okay. I think this should be printed out and it should remain in your starter kit so that every time you do this, it's ready to go. The other thing that I always suggest to consultants is that when you get home, I usually clean my mirrors right then and there because as they're doing it, I shake the eye makeup remover, I put a little drop on all the mirrors, I go ahead and I clean it right in front of them. Everything's ready to go. But if you got to go home and you still got to organize a couple things, I'm going to suggest you organize it as soon as you get home. Why? Because then the last thing you want is that you're running late for an appointment or somebody shows up or you have a class and you're like, oh my gosh, my kid ain't ready. So make sure that you are getting them ready. All right. And so that's the supplies of everything that should go in there. Print this out and have it in your bag, and it is your checklist. Okay. It will not be the first time or the last time that you show up without something in your starter kit. So put it on there, okay, and keep it in there so that you do your checklist. And then there is a post-party checklist. And so I love this. I love number 1 because number 1 says contact your sales director immediately. You all know that I want a WhatsApp message. Okay. Like, hey, I hold a party. I have that thing, right? I have this many faces. This is how much I sold. This how much was in skincare sets. This is how many bookings, how many referrals, new team members, anyone interested in the business. You leave me that message. Without that message, I, as a director, cannot coach you. If I say there's a sale, we're doing it, let me know. I need to know this is what I'm doing. This is how, these are my thoughts, right? And so this is so important. It's number 1. And I always tell people, leave it to me on WhatsApp, because if I don't answer, I can't answer. I get it, but leave it to me on WhatsApp and send me the details right after you left because it's fresh in your head, right? And you can be like, Rosie, this situation happened. How would I handle this? And then we change it, right? Number 2 was report your faces. So if you have a personal Power Start tracking form, okay, and make sure you have all second dates on your calendar, and it says submit them to your sales director. Okay, so I always love to know when you're having parties. The reason I like to have parties is because I put them in my book and then I follow up with you. I'm like, hey, how's it going for this party? Hey, what are you doing here? How many people have you done it? And we get to communicate. And so I literally on my agenda, I have my month, but when I go to my daily things, I will write so and so's debut. So and so has a skincare party. So and so has one, right? And it allows us to keep in communication. If you remember back at the beginning of Mary Kay University, it says we're here to play ball together, and I throw you the ball and you throw it back, right? And then if you keep on, I'll throw it to you again and you throw it back. But if you never throw the ball back at me, I can't work with you. I can't help you. I just can't, right? And so that's important. So the third one is review, right? The iCustomer app, input all of your customers, put them your birthdays, right? I love the picture. If you when you do the game, the selfie game, and they're supposed to send you the picture right then at the party, and because they send you the picture right then on the party, you then get to upload it onto the My Customer app, you all. It makes such a difference, okay? Because when you do, you remember them as the years go by. You're like, oh my gosh, I remember she was at this girl's party, Ariana's party, but what does she look like? Was it that girl on that table or that one? I write notes on there, and on my thing, I'll just say she was the maid of honor at Ariana's bridal party, and she was the Latina that was this, or she was, the blonde girl that brought her kid, whatever it is. I write notes. And then confirm all party orders were entered into and mark orders complete. The beauty of, as you start doing this, right, if they're right on the app and you do the receipts on the app, it's easy, right? But if you are writing them in, or you're going after, and a customer will ask you, can you send me that same CC I ordered last time? Once you input those receipts, you can go on to my Mary Kay in Touch, you go under your customers, and you could see literally previously purchased, and you can see all the products she's previously purchased. So I'm like, oh yes, I got it, it's your CC. Oh yeah, you're normal to dry. Yeah, your combination to oily. So that is important for you to have, okay? Deposit, number 4 is deposit. Deposit all of your checks and your cash in a separate Mary Kay checking account. Then you transfer from your Mary Kay checking to your personal, right? You do the profit. We talked about that last week. Builds your in touch order. Important. As soon as the class is done, you go that you're inputting it, right? You set aside your time to do that. Some people do it right after a party that night. Some people have a certain day of the week or twice a week that they sit down and they do all of that. When you input that in there, and their orders are in there, I then start building my inventory. You could continue to save it. Okay, you could continue to save it. And what you do is, when you continue to save it, then at the end of the month or whenever you do, you just do one order. Okay. Number 5, number 5 also has your section 2. So you could do it on your phone. Now I do it on my phone. Back in the day, I had a little post-it note that went in my starter kit, and I would always add a note to it. Cleanser's low, this is low, whatever, because you're squeezing the bottle and you're like, oh crap, I need to order more. And then if you don't write it down, you're going to forget. Or I'll say, need more facial cloths. Like I'll put on my to-do on my phone, and it'll say facial cloths. So super important for you to understand all of that and have that ready. Okay. And then it says here, send thank you notes to each of the guests, right? And you could go back to your manuals. It gives you examples, right? You can write something from the heart. I love handwritten notes. If you can't do handwritten notes, somebody didn't give it to you, you do a text, right? And then you go from there. Invite customers to your customer social media VIP group. Okay. Send them on there, put them on there, keep on inviting. I just want to remind you that I post all the time on my customer page. So all you got to do is copy and paste it and put it into a social media page, into your social media page. Or some people have WhatsApp, they don't have social media, and you do it like a broadcast only, where their customers can get something every day, every other day, whatever. It's up to you, but put them on somewhere. Okay. Number 8 is follow up. And follow up with the guests that did not attend. Follow up with leads, follow up with the back of the profile, add people to your booking. And then I know it doesn't say it in here, but the 2 + 2 + 2, I already put it on there. So I will kind of give you what I do. So let's just say that I have a stack of customer profile cards, right? Let's just assume these are the customer profile cards. I staple them together on every profile card. So it has on the top, it says hostess. I write the hostess's name. So I always remember this customer profile. Oh, Ariana's the hostess, right? And I put it on there. I keep these together. I don't file them away yet, because in 2 days, I'm going to follow up with them. And in 2 weeks, I'm going to follow up with them. And then I follow up in 2 months. I have a standard. And then after those 2 months, I then file and put them away. Okay. All right. Then they get a call from me when there's the big sale. Whether it's on, the end of year, or my November sale, and on their birthday. Okay, so they get at least 3 calls. All right, and the last one, I did say it already, clean and restock your starter kit, which you kind of already know what that was. Okay, so print these 2 pages out. This is a very good thing for you to have. All right, Now, here's class number 7, the second date. And I'm going to go through some of it. I'm going to explain some of it. Keep in mind that this should probably be all printed because there's so much information on here that you really want. Okay, so this is the glamour makeover. This is meeting your customer a second time, and it literally will help you. This is a time where you can reconnect with them. You do a one-on-one. So, what are the objectives? And it says it here, to create a stronger connection with your customer, to give her that one-on-one personalized service, to build her color confidence while exposing her to new products, and to introduce you to her guest. Hopefully, she's going to host her circle of influence, and it grows your business and the products. Okay. So, when you have that, remember, we talk about it in booking. I'm not going to get all of that in there, but you can always go back to the booking. It's all on the YouTube. But when you have somebody and you then give them that second date, this is what builds a strong business. Okay. So the first one is key, and this one continues to grow. Okay. If it is the two of you, get to know her by asking questions, make her a wish list, encourage her to gather friends for a third date. Like, and I think the key there is to have your date book highlighted like you learned in booking, and booking them on the spot. Even if they're not sure, you know what, I'm going to give you this booking. If it changes, it changes. But at least we know we have something on the calendar, right? So you're going to build that between the two of you. If it's you, her, and her friends, then you arrive 30 to 60 minutes, depending, right, to do her skincare. And then have everything ready for her guest. I do 60 minutes. I can't do it like sooner. So I get there an hour before minimum. It takes me 30 minutes to do her makeup, and then 30 minutes to get ready. That's just how it is, right? And then you start working right away to be done before her guests arrive. So I set up everything, right? That's how long, get there, boom, 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 do all her makeup. And if they come in and I'm finishing her makeup, there's nothing wrong with that. They're just I'm gonna be like, doesn't she look beautiful? Like, here, like, this is what we're gonna talk about how you could get yours as well. And then she has her makeup on beautiful all day, and people are gonna want that. That's what we need. That is working. That is the same thing Mary Kay has taught for years, right? Okay, so that's like the little bit of the ins and outs on how to oops, sorry, my thing is frozen. Okay, let me do this. All right, so here is the second date, the products, and the outline. Okay, it's all there, and it's all in order. So you don't, this is why I say this is an important one to print, right? Satin hands and lips, her before picture. Why do you do satin hands and lips? Do you have to do satin hands? If you did it at the party, you don't need to do it, but women love it. So if they bought it, I don't, but I definitely do lips, okay? Because we want all that dead skin cell out, the little dead skin, before we go ahead and do our makeup. You take her before picture, you do the miracle set. Now, I know it says miracle set third. My only thing is I take off her makeup. Like if she doesn't have anything on, take her before picture. But if you need to like do the cleanser, take it off, right? I don't explain all of the miracle set. I go right into it. This is it. Remember, we're gonna wash your face, go to the bathroom, great, put your moisturizer, you're ready. Okay, let's go. It's there, foundation, primer, translucent powder, the brush brows, the brow liner, the color palette, the eyeliner, concealer, mascara, contour, lips, finishing spray, and your after picture. This is the cheat sheet. Okay, this is a cheat sheet. Okay. As you grow in your business, you'll have eyeshadows, and you can have, I remember having the color cards, and then I remember I really need to build it. And I remember getting when I first started, a smaller compact, and I put 6 of the most popular colors. And then I put like a couple, like the most 2 popular brushes. And, I would do the basics of it. So I get a little pink, a little brown. That's how I did it. And then eventually I got a full palette. I personally don't like the color cards. I think if you don't have it, do it. But I feel like if you're doing color, like, it's not that big of an investment to just buy one compact with like 6 main colors and 2 blushes, right? And that fits in a compact, 6 colors and 2 blushes. And then they get to use the brush. Okay, I have a brush set that I take out sample with every single brush that exists. That's what my one-on-one uses, and they get to play with the brushes. And I tell them, don't worry, I'm going to clean these when I'm done. Right? So that's what I like about it. And so that is your second date and your product outline. Okay, let's keep going. Foundation. Okay, so here are some tips for foundations. Okay, so um, prep and prime, find your match, find your type, correct and set. Okay, so that's the things that you need to keep in mind. So foundation primer is so key. Okay, it's going to minimize the lines, the imperfections on your face, right? You're going to use less foundation as a primer, but the other thing is that you want to gently put it on. It feels so silk like, but it also helps the extended use of it, right? And so you could see the little peel there that says no primer and primer. Like you could see the difference. I love the primer, especially if I'm going to go out. Okay. So then um, find your tool. I talk about this. I literally will print this out, you all. And it shows it in there. Like blending brush is for full coverage. Okay. If you want it to be seamless, your liquid foundation, I love it. It gives you a more natural, let's just say, right? And I put it on, and then your blending brush is for sheer coverage, okay? And a good tip if you want it is that you get the brush, you put it in water, and you squeeze it all out. Then you dip it in the foundation, and it's for the hard places that get that you need to put in there. Everybody has a different taste, so there's no right way or wrong way. The one thing that I want to say here is that when you look at the closing set sheets for the driven area, they do the blending brush, but I personally give my clients, my customers, depending on which one, whether they like blending or liquid foundation. I use the liquid foundation, and then I use my blending brush for the contouring and the highlighting. Again, everybody likes different things. So then we'll go into find your match, right? So the first thing that you have to know is you have to understand skin tones, okay? Very easy, ivory, beige, or bronze, okay? I did not pick these actresses, they come in there, but it gives you definitely a visual so you understand, okay? I have matched foundations just on the little color sheet, right? And we're gonna get into that in a minute, right? So tone, ivory, and now these are very ivory, and there's beige and there's bronze. This is a very easy ivory, beige, and bronze, right? The question becomes whether the like sometimes that like, well, is she a dark ivory and a lighter beige, or is she a dark beige and then goes into a light bronze? And I ask questions. You'll always know that this is where you go into that undertone, right? Because you got a cool, a neutral, and a warm. A cool, they just get red. Like when they get in the sun, they get red. Okay. A neutral undertone, they get red, and then they warm up to that tanner look. Okay. And then the warm, they get tan. They just get tan naturally. So that cool one usually has that redness and a more red undertone. The neutral will have more of a yellow undertone on her skin, and the warm will have an olive undertone on their skin. Okay. Ethnicities also help too. I won't get into all of that, but like certain ethnicities, they just have that warm undertone. Other ones you'll see that they're like, no, totally pink. So the question to always ask is, when you go in the sun, do you burn? Do you burn then tan, or do you just tan? That's what helps me. And then you can look at it. All right. So we're going to keep going. Then you have your product spotlight. Okay. So here's the TimeWise 3D. Now, we always have CC. The question that people ask is, this foundation is the foundation, it's our fuller coverage foundation, right? It's 12 hours of wear, 12 hours of moisturizing. They have it in matte, they have it in luminous. So you'll have the extra hydration if they're normal to dry. The oil, it have oil control with the matte. Okay, it's very weightless, right? And so a lot of times, people say, well, I don't try foundations. Well, try our foundation, right? This is what helps you understand what our foundations do. I get you guys don't have samples, so you can start by getting the smaller samples, and they last forever. Somebody asked me, well, what about even RCCs? That they last forever, right? If you're in between two, okay? And so you can get, for example, if you know that most of the people you meet are beige, Well, start by getting the most popular beige ones. I can kind of explain that in the next slide, right? And you get the samples and they come in a pack of 6 and you have them there. And then you know what number your client is or whether they like it or they don't like it. I will say that after those CCs came out, majority of my sales are CCs, but I do have the Time Wise foundations for those that want extra coverage on the foundation. Okay, so let's keep on. This right here, this conversion table is the most important thing for foundation matching. I'm going to go one more. So if you see on the bottom, it says undertones, ask her. You see how it says the cool, the neutral, and the warm. I just talked about it. And you see the color cards. I live by this conversion chart, you all. So if you go to the left under Time Wise Liquid Foundation, okay. Well, let me tell you where I normally start with. I normally start with the CC cream because I can look at somebody and I automatically know if she's very light, right? Light to medium, medium to deep, deep or very deep. So that makes it really easy where I'm going to focus on. So let's just say that this person is, a light to medium. Let's go with light to medium. I'm light to medium, right? So let's say she's light to medium. You have her and you know that you ask her and you tell her, oh, she goes, oh, I get red first. I get burned first and then I tan. Well, if you look at light to medium, you're looking at the 160 or the 180. You're only choosing from 2. It's not like you have 10 to choose from, right? If she says, I did that right? No, wait, sorry. You know that she's, that was if she's warm. If she's warm, she's a 160 or a 180, okay? And if she's a little darker, I'll go with a 180. I just do process of elimination. Let's say she tells me, no, I'm cool, I get really, really red. Well, you'll notice that light to medium only has a beige C170. If she's very light, it's beige C140. You have more of a wide range of it. And if she's deep, if she's a darker skinned, but still cool that she burns, she's automatically C220. And you see, that's how I kind of look at it and I know where she's at, okay? What if she says, oh, I want a silky setting powder? Okay, well, silky setting powder, then I look at it. So let's just assume our warm girl is we decide that she's let's just say we're in between both. We don't know if she's a W160 or 180, and you're in between both. You have the samples, you can try them both, right? And then when you move to the right, you see the silky setting powder, which is deep ivory and light beige. See that? You can get 2. So right here, I'm looking at this one. Here is, she could be either of these. She could be a 160 light to medium, setting powder is deep ivory, concealer is light beige, and the mineral pressed powder is light beige. But if you go to this one, now she could be a light beige for a silky setting powder. This stays the same, and this could be a beige too. So when I kind of get stuck, now when I'm seeing her in person, it's easy because I'm seeing her. But if I'm not, I usually ask her to send a picture of herself to me. Can you send me a picture of yourself? Go out in the sun with no makeup. And then I can kind of play and I can see and I can take a guess. I also remind them listen, money back guaranteed, right? We'll get you the right color. So I just had a client that this happened last week and I was like, deep ivory, light beige, deep ivory, light beige, right? And so when she sent me her pic, she's technically right there in the middle, and she does. Now I decided she wanted silky setting powder. I did decide to go on the light beige, and she gets darker in the summer. And because she gets darker in the summer, and then she had a couple dots, like spots or whatever, she's like, I want my silky setting powder. I want it to cover. So I covered it, right? Now, I might have picked it, but this gives me this gives you a very, very good narrow it down. And so center the picture and you kind of see. Don't be surprised if most of your customers need a second color. They switch in the summer from the winter, especially if they're getting sun, which was happening to my particular customer, that she's like, I'm getting darker in the summer. So I'm like, let's go with the darker one, right? And this lasts for years. So you can tell her, listen, if in the winter it gets too light, we'll send you the other one. And then you have your summer color and your winter color, okay? So this conversion chart, I have it. I live by it. I actually laminated mine. I have a laminator. If you don't have a laminator, it doesn't matter. It's okay. Don't go crazy. But I did because I just want it always. So I have one where my foundations are and one in my starter kit bag, or my color bag, I should say. Okay. So let's go on. This will go through all of the different types. Okay, so you can read this. I'm not going to read all of this in detail. This is great for you to print out, but you see that you have your silk, your CC cream, right? Everybody could use it, more natural. Then you have your foundations, which are more full coverage. Then you have silky setting powder, right? And this is, it contains mineral oils. It's not porous, right? And you can put it with your foundation brush in circular motion. Now, I have found that people with oily skin like the translucent powder. They do. People that don't have oily skin or have more dry skin, they do like the silky setting powder. Does it mean somebody with oily skin can't use it? No. But remember again, this is kind of trying and your customers until they to say, oh, I love that. I'm going to give you back the same customer because I was with her and she's like, I love my translucent, but for certain things, I just like to have powder with coverage. That is our silky setting powder and it sets it. If I want full makeup, I'm going to use it and I'm going to brush it on because that's going to give me that finished look. Okay. So that's your silky setting powder. And you can see all the colors that are there. Okay. So now you have correct and set. Now, oh my gosh, I love our concealers, but I love most is our under eye corrector. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. That is number 6. Okay. And then it says a blemish can be concealed with a lighter shade hidden under a shade that perfectly matches your blend, then set with translucent powder. Oh, sorry. This is not it. I thought that I'm like, what is that? Number 6. I could tell what it is. Sorry. On the left-hand side, because it's the apricot. That is our under eye corrector that has an apricot base. It will take everything out. So when I do color, I will always put under eye corrector under their eyes. And you can see the picture of the lady below where she puts the concealer. I do under eye corrector first there. Then I add my foundations to it. Okay. And then if they want concealer, I'll add it a little bit on top. That's how I like it. So you can read this. It really is like helps with the darkness. You want to use a concealer that is closest to your skin. That's what I'm going to tell you that. So most people, when they like to look white, but then they take a picture with flash and they look like Casper. Okay. We don't want Casper. We want it to look natural and beautiful. Okay. You can put it around the redness under your nose. You can put it under wherever you have spots. Okay. So you want to read this, but the concealer is so important because, and most women don't know how to use it. Okay. But again, the biggest tip that I have is that people that want to go with that lighter shade, I'm like, it's way too light. Okay. So here you go. Then you can set your foundation with your translucent powder. Okay. You can put it all over. It's going to set the foundation, sets the concealer. Again, it does not settle in your pores, right? It looks white, but it gives you that finished look. And or if you don't like it, you can put silky setting powder all over, and that's an extra layer of foundation. Okay. The little tip with that little sponge, it's funny that I said it already, right? And so you can use the sponge. I use the sponge, especially when I want a full coverage makeup, right? Like I want to look slamming and flawless. I use it. I use all my brushes. I take them all out. Okay. Let's keep going. All right, brows. Okay. This is a great one. Again, you guys, you want to read through this. Okay. So you can see the before and after. It fills it in and makes it look flawless. Okay. With the brow liner, they're small little feathery strokes so that, and it's buildable, right? And that's something that you can do. I love it. Okay. The brow tint, you could shape it, you could fill it in, right? They're fiber infused. It has a fiber infused solution, so it attaches to your eyebrows to make them thicker. Okay. And there's the eyeliner brush. What I want to say about the volumizing tint brush, if your client has like no eyebrows, like that is a really hard, it's harder to use, right? Because it's not like you're brushing, it's like mascara, right? Like you're brushing it on and they don't have a lot of eyebrows. Then the brow liner is better. Some people like the brow tint, some like the brow liner. When I do my color class at this stage in the game, you all, at this stage of the game, I have I have all of the brow eyeliners and I have all the brow tints and people can use them. Again, these are things that you invest in if you're doing color. If you're like, I've never done color, then you guess what? Bring yours for right now. Bring your brow liner, bring your eyebrow tint and do one sample of it. Now, You can do the one sample of the brow tint right here on your hands, right? You take out the little mascara and you put it on your hands so they could see it. They can put it on their hands and they don't get to try it. The brow liner, on the other hand, your starter kit for color needs to have little alcohol swabs. You just clean it when they're done and people could try the brow liners. So important little tip for you to know. And then I teach this. You see where it says step 1, step 2, step 3? I teach where the brows should start, the middle if you have an arch, and step 3 is where it should end, okay? Now, the little tip here that I have is that most people are missing at the end when they do it to the outer corner of their eye, which is why I like the brow liner to kind of fill it in, okay? And then you can see here, it gives you 3 different things: the everyday, the work one, and the night one, right? Like you could see like different little tips of how to use it, of how to use different, you can use the brow liners, you can use the brow tint, you can use 2 different shades as well. I'm not going to go into that. I think you could practice it, play with it, right? But I definitely do my eyebrows different depending on where I decide to go out. I've even used the shadows. I know they had limited edition shadows, which are just our eyeshadows. And my favorite is espresso. So when I'm going to go out, I like to fill it in with the espresso. It just makes a big difference. And then know that you can take any concealer, okay, and you can put concealer right here, like on the outside of your eyebrows and under, to make it, to conceal it and make the eyebrows pop, okay? So that's your brows. Okay, now let's go into our eyes. Oh, I went way too much. It is very sensitive today. Okay, there you go. You got to do the eye shape. So if you look at our color cards, the color cards always come with shade 1, 2, and 3, right? The highlighter, the midtone, and the accent. Super easy. You learn to use this 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3. If you end up getting the most 6 popular colors, you always want to have two that are midtone, an accent, and a midtone, a highlighter, and an accent. You can do one row, right? 2 different looks, a neutral and a more pinker one. Now, this allows you to know what type of eyes she has. So if you know that she has standard eyes, closed set, wide set, standard, it has an even amount of between your eyes. They're just, and it doesn't droop or anything, right? So you can basically get one eyeball, put it in the middle of one whole eye, put it in the middle of your eyes, and there's enough space that is standard. If you take your eyeball, the length of your eyeball, and you try to put it in the middle and it would not fit, they're closed set. And if you put it in there and there's way too much space, you're wide set. And that makes a difference with number 1, which is the highlighter. So you see, if you look there at number 1 on a standard, you want to have more, you have some of the highlighter there. But notice that the closed set has a lot more highlighter. And the reason why is because we want to bring in a little bit the eyes. And notice that in your wide set, there is no highlighter to make it look even wider. You want to close it and you want to make them more even. So this is a great thing for you to print and a great thing for you to work with your customers. And I would work with your best customers that will help you try this so you can learn how to do 1, 2, and 3. So then you have deep set, which means that they have the pocket in the back. When they have that pocket, which is deep set, you never want to get that accent color and go all the way in. You just want to stay on the outer corner of the eye because you don't want the deepness to look more deep, right? You got hooded. When you got hooded eyes, that means that the top lid kind of falls in, you all. That one, you want to get it on the outer side. So you're going up with that third color, right? So that it diffuses it and it doesn't look hooded, but you see that third color up on their eyes. And then you can see the Asian is completely different. And they just have a little corner of the third, and the white goes all the way up, okay? So how do you practice this? You practice it by starting to look at people. You start seeing if their eyeball fits, right? And you start doing the color and you start mixing it, okay? So those are your eyes. If you're like, oh my gosh, I'm brand new, I don't even know what to do. Okay, I'm gonna give you the easy way. You can do, okay, light color on the top, a darker color on the bottom, done. 2 colors, easy. Somebody's like, I don't put any makeup on. Light color on the top, dark color on the bottom, kind of like when you do your liquid eyeshadows. If you want to get more fancy, then you could do eye color on the top, the highlighter on the middle of your eye. And let me actually stop the share 1 second so you can make it easier. You could do a color on the top, which is your highlighter, mid-tone in the middle, and the darker color on the here on this one, and then you're going to blend it. Okay, so 1 color on the top, 1 color on the bottom, done. Or 1 color, 2 color, 3 colors, and then you're done. Now, if you're going to get into color, okay, you want to be able to know the types of eyes. Okay, all right, it talks about chroma fusion. You can kind of go through that on your own. Then here it talks about all of the different colors, the cools, the warms, the neutrals. Okay, so those are some colors that you can use, that you can look at. You can study it. It tells you what colors go good together. Look at your catalog. I always say, if you look at the catalog always has women with samples of makeup. Look at them. You could see it. Okay, I'm going to show you right now. This is an old one. But look, she has colors in here, and this is the colors that they used on her, right? So you can get ideas. So the the lookbook always has something. Go to your color certification classes, right? So like my favorite highlighter is Crystalline, but if not, I have a mid-tone. I can use Moonstone, right? And then you got to use like colors that are very, very neutral, right? And so you start playing with colors. I mean, you get better at it. Okay, so this is for you to know. Okay. Eyeliner. It gives you the same thing again. I'm not going to go into all of that, right? But if they need an everyday look, if they have small eyes, if they have deep set eyes, if they have hooded eyes, it's all important. They all have different tips to do them. Okay. And remember that we have our, I love our new waterproof eyeliners. And then of course, you have your Besta here, your eye makeup remover. I mean, I can't even talk about it enough. All right. Mascara. There are different types of mascara. I know our starter kit comes with our ultimate mascara, which is like the most popular one, right? It's the ultimate one. But if you have a curl lash, I tell them to lash their curls before. Remember, they're wiggling. You wiggle. I wiggle side to side, then up and out. Right? Don't pump your mascara. Replace it after 3 months. Okay. So now, what do you do when you sit there? So I see when people say, "Well, how do I know all the different mascaras?" So first of all, the ultimate comes in there. Okay. So this is very, very standard. But I do get a lot that says, "Well, how do I offer them something else?" Well, I ask the people, my customers, what to use. I don't care if they use the ultimate. I let them know, what are you looking for in a mascara? And it says it there: expand and extend, definition, length, volume, waterproof, drama. Now, I do not sell waterproof just to sell it. I only give it to them if in the summer, or if they are going to a wedding, they want it, great. But I really do not like to do waterproof for an everyday. It's just very, very strong, and especially if they don't have eye makeup remover. That's like my disclaimer there. Now, whether extend, definition, length, volume, or drama. First of all, I am going to suggest, and I always do, try all of them. Don't open all 5 at once, because you have to throw them out every 3 months. But maybe try the lash intensity, and then later try the lash love, and then try them. Use them until they're done, and then you get to know. So I can literally, like, when it says definition, like, so I'm going to go with expand and extend. And if you're writing notes, write these. You print this out and write down next to it. But I tell people, if you want the bigger, bolder, like expanding, extending, like you want those bold lashes, you got to go with lash intensity. If they want more of an everyday, I tell them, well, do you want more definition or more length? That's your lash love and your great heights. Definition, the lash love is going to separate them so that you see them more separated, I could say. But the lengthening just makes them a little longer. And it's probably the most basic everyday mascara, like especially for those that don't wear makeup. And you don't want the ultimate, right? Because the ultimate gives you the big, bold, and separates them. So if they're like, I love mascara, I want the bigger, bolder, thicker lashes. It's the ultimate. And I say, but then I say, but do you want the Mac Daddy of it? I'm gonna go with the everyday, with the, sorry, lash intensity. Then I tell them, okay, is it more of an everyday thing? If it's more of an everyday thing, okay, then I give them Lash Love or Great Heights. Okay. Now, like for drama, I love the Panorama. Like if you want them longer, you want to fan them out. I love the Panorama. But that's because I like them fanned and mine can clump together. And so I just like that drama look of like, I have lashes. Okay. Now do I mix mascaras? This is a great question. Okay. Um, if you like, let's say I want both, right? I will use, like, for example, the Panorama, because it really extends them. And then if I want them to be really bold, I'll add the Ultimate or the Lash Intensity on top. I tend to like Ultimate better, but that's just me. So I add a layer of it and then it gives it the boldness, but they're all nice and they are all fanned out. Okay. All right. Let me keep going. Cheeks. Again, contouring, highlighting, blushing. How do you get better at this? You do it on yourself first. Okay. You'll learn to know the people's faces, right? Whether they're oval, they're round, they're heart shaped, they're long, and they're square. Okay. And they're giving you a little bit here, right? Oval is just literally an oval. You could see that it looks like an oval, where the round face is, think of it as a circle. It's round. A heart shaped are the people that have an upper jawline that extends and then it goes in and it makes it softer. So it looks heart. They're wider on the top and then it goes like a little heart. Long face, you'll see people that it's not even oval because it's more skinny. It's just a long face. And square faces, they have the jawline that extends out. So why is it important? Because this is what allows you to know where you put the contouring and the highlighting on there. Okay, this is how you know. And then the contours and the highlighters are based on like ivory and beige skin and then the darker skin. So you need a highlighter and you need a contour. Okay, all right. Practice makes perfect. All right, so let me keep going. Here are all the blushes, and then they have by skin tone. Very easy. Remember that this is the ChromaFusion, the matrix technology, and the pigments are in the same eyeshadows they are in the blushes, and then gives you an idea of what colors go for ivory, what color goes to beige, and what colors go for the bronze skin. Okay, all right. We do have a foundation quiz. Yes, so it is a good, the Mary Kay Foundation quiz, you can give it to your customers. So just going back, your customers can do that color quiz and your customers could do the skin analyzer one. So I love the skin analyzer one. I love for people to do it at all times. Do I always get them to do it? No, but especially at a follow-up, and I start seeing people that are getting into their skincare, I do have them do it, because for me, I get to see where their problems are, areas that they want to improve, and the same for color. They get to play with the color and in the foundation, and you get to know what they like. So I don't know if it's been updated recently, but it always would give me like, oh, this person, you're going to recommend the Silky Setting Powder. You should be recommending this foundation or CC. So it asks them. So that's a great starting point for sure. Okay, now it's going to go into lip liners. Okay, so, and this is what you can see where they want volumizing lips, fuller lips, or one, which one they want, right? So you could go into there, they could draw a line, fill in the area, apply the lip color, right? If they want volumizing lips, you're going to do the lip liner on the end. If they want fuller lips, you put it everywhere, okay? And if they like that, so I like to be able to see the, I have like an arch on my lips. Then you're going to start at the end and you're going to work your way in. So you start at the end of your lips and you work your way in your lips. That's an important one. I love this. I will say if I want my lip liner to stay all day, I apply it to the entire lip. Okay. There's another product spotlight you can read. Here are all the lip liners. You can go see them. There's warm shades, cool shades. I honestly go by what my customers love because I just think it's important. Like they'll know what they like, I think, when it comes to lipsticks. And then here it goes over all of the different ones. Your hydrating, your lip gloss, your gels, semi-shines, and your gels, semi-mattes. Important to read that. Again, I go with, if I have a customer that really wants hydrating, I'm gonna go with the hydrating lipstick. And listen, I have people that they'll try the lip gloss at a party and they're like, I'm a lipstick girl. Great, we'll meet at our color session and you're gonna get to pick it out, right? I'm not gonna sit there at a class and try to get the right color. I don't take any of these colors out. Absolutely no way, Jose. Okay, so if they are not sure what colors they want and they wanna try, then I say, great, at your color class, we'll pick it out. That's all I do. Okay. But it's important you listen to your customers. If your customer has very dry lips, semi-matte is not the way to go, right? I have really dry lips. Now, I love a color of semi-matte. So then what I do is I have to put my lip balm first so that then I can get the color in. Because if not, my lips will feel too dry. If I want, so it just depends. Again, so many shades. How do you know what they take, what they feel, how they feel like? If you do not have a lip liner first, go grab a lip liner. You can do beige nude. It is the most natural color of all. And then pick one color of each brand. Pick a hydrating, pick a lip gloss, pick a semi-shine, pick a semi-matte. Different colors. You get to try all the formulas, okay? It's that important for you to understand what they are. Okay. Brushes. You all, the whole brush collection is here and you can read each one and it'll tell you what each one does. Okay, I have the whole collection. I've used them all. I know them all. I played with them all, and you should have an entire set collection that goes, like I said, in your bag. I'm not going to go over all of these, but you could read through this and then you could have it. Again, great cheat sheet to take at your parties. And then a couple little last details, okay? Magic of blending, okay? You gotta blend. Blend is what takes out that line. People decide not to blend, and I think you need to blend, okay? You always wanna use our finishing spray, okay? It lasts 16 hours, okay? It dries very well. You stay 8 inches away. You spray the bottle as an X and a T. I do it 4 times because I needed to use it 4 times, but this is awesome to have your makeup finishing spray. And then how do you do it? You can clean your brushes. I love that, we have our gentle Shea hand soap. You want to go ahead and you want to wash your brushes. I do them so just clean them with some warm water. It's funny, they do sell those like kind of like on Amazon, probably in the Dollar Tree. They're like these little silicone things that have like little spikes on it, so that you can kind of rub it on that and that'll take out more. But if not, you use your hands and then you let it air dry. Of course, you want to let them dry. I just put it on top of my counter and I let it lay flat, and then I put the I have it extend a little bit out of the sink so that it's not all flat, and I just let them dry before I reuse them. I personally have 2 sets of brushes, and so when they're dirty, I put them away and I take the new one and then I wash them. But cleaning your brushes is so important, okay? And that concludes our Mary Kay University. That concludes our 7 classes, you all. You could go back at any time. It's all on there, all the way from starting your business to the color class. I would print this out, just a reminder that you get a discount on Home Depot, Office Depot, when you want to print out in color. So if you want to print the whole manual out, please do. This is like the Bible for our Mary Kay business, right? Like this is everything from booking, coaching, selling, team building, money management, organization, and color. It is all in there. The cheat sheet of how to do a class, you all. So print it out, use it. Don't forget, it's all there, and it is there to help you. It is there to help you take out that cheat sheet. And if you got to take the cheat sheet out in your color class, It's awesome because it's all there on a one-on-one. I would show your customers, right? And you take it out, use it, read it together. So I absolutely believe, and I'll just end with this. It is so important to book that color appointment. The color appointment keeps your business going. Have your day book ready, book the color appointment, and then turn that color appointment into a class. And even if it's a one-on-one, do it with her. She's going to love it. She's going to feel better. She's going to talk to her friends. You get to connect with her more. You get to see if she gave you referrals. You get to convince her to try to do a party or something else, right? And you build a relationship. I love that we have the most loyal customers, and I believe it's because of how we run our Mary Kay business. So I hope that MKU has really, really helped you, that it has allowed you to see things, learn things, and it makes you excited to continue to grow. Okay, so reminder, go on our YouTube. You can watch all of them all over again because they're there for you. So thank you for tuning in to our Mary Kay University. Much success.